the way.
We're wanted men.
I have spoken.
Welcome to episode 210. I got it right this week, Jason, of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast, your favorite podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. I'm Glenn, and with me, as always, is Jason. And this week, we've actually got stuff to talk about, so I think Jason's a little bit happier or more calm.
We have a plan.
It's not a good plan, but we got a plan.
We have a plan, and that's all that matters. I'm fine.
Man, it's been a while since I've seen you, Jason.
Yeah.
Like 12 hours?
10.
Maybe?
10.
10.
Because it was 11 o'clock last night when you left. It's a long day. It was a fun day.
Yeah, and yeah, it was an awesome day yesterday. We had a meetup, and then we got to surprise Narayan for his 50th, which was awesome. And we'll get into that. And then we ended up going back over to, because of the way things worked out, we ended up at Shannon, my wife and I ended up at Jason and Shannon's house until like 11 last night. I thought we were just going to do a quick car swap, and you broke out the cigars, and I'm like, I can't turn down a cigar. Can't. And about 11 o'clock, you're like picking your shoes up and start walking in, and everybody's like, I guess it's time to go.
That's it. Goodbye. I am done closing this thing down.
Yeah, your wife with Shannon was kind of like, it's almost time for me to wake up. And then you pick up your shoes and walk inside, and we're like,
I take care of my women's.
Yeah.
She wants to go to bed. I take care of her.
Yeah. And she was like, y'all can enjoy the deck as long as you want, but we're going to bed.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Exactly. So then we came home and ended up not watching the videos for the Disney Cruise Line, and didn't go to bed till like 1.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I was probably in bed 15 minutes, sound asleep too, 15 minutes after you left. It was a long day for me.
Yes, it was, but it was awesome. So I see something new in your background.
Which part?
Well, the whole background.
Whole background is coming together.
Yeah, but then, huh?
You're talking about the star.
I'm talking about that thing. But yeah, we'll talk about that thing. But yeah, you got a nice little shelves, like 3 shelves with a bunch
3
of stuff
shelves,
on it.
And they'll match on the other side. So what I did from Amazon, I already had those are the glass shelves I was talking about last week. Was it last week? I don't remember.
Yeah, last week before, on some podcast.
But so I ordered just enough for the one side to make sure everything would fit before, buying 2 and then 2 sets of 6.
Right.
And so now that this is working, I'll get another set for this side. I've already pre-holed and measured, so everything will be symmetrical, and I'll be happy because it'll be perfect.
Right.
But yeah, and then I started putting out stuff on the shelves. Like you can see I have the Funko Walmart pack with the Ponda Baba, Walrus Man, and Greedo and Hammerhead, but they're all Kenner colors.
Right.
And then I have the Micro Machine action fleets with Ponda Baba and Dr. E. And then I have the mask. This is the Chalice from Disney. It's that Jeff guy who did all the Cantina artwork recently.
Right.
So that's there. But as I put like figures out and stuff, I'm like, this just feels too cheap. Like I need more higher end items, I guess, to put on those shelves.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if that was just placeholders.
It's like placeholders as I figure things out, but that's definitely not staying because it doesn't feel right.
Well, if you're going to do figures, you may need to do talk to Ian and get some whatever. Get them things to put your figures on that look like steps.
Yep, we'll get it done. And then in the top corner is the GASWC logo.
Yeah. I need to display mine better. Mine's just kind of sitting downstairs.
But yesterday at the meetup, I did finally pick up the Star Speeder, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
super detailed. I don't have batteries right now, so it's not gonna play the electronics, but my God, this thing is incredible. It's huge. And then like we had mentioned before, it comes with two Rexes.
Oh,
Comes with a loose one and a carded one.
nice.
The carded one is 1753 out of 3000 if people are interested. It's individually numbered. Rex is pointing right there in the middle of the top of the card. It's just got this of 3000, so they individually print the number on there.
Yeah, that's like so cheap for Disney to make people happy. You know, another $5 and you can have a bagged figure in there with your carded figure.
And there's
It'd
an
be,
R2D2 right there. He
does
comes
that
with
is
R2.
that connected to? Can you take him out, or he's
Yeah, I could
connected?
pop him out,
You
but
don't
I'm
have to
not
pop
gonna.
him out. No.
We're recording a podcast and I'm already talking about visual items and an audio.
Then
So
what
if you
kind of
don't,
batteries does it take?
uh, it's double A, but Tony yesterday when I picked it up, he's like, you just need to buy a bunch of double A's because that's what it takes. So I haven't loaded any batteries in it
Oh, do
yet.
you have double A's at your
No, but
house?
I think I want rechargeable ones for this guy because
Ah,
if there's so many of them, I don't want to keep buying double A batteries to show it
because
off. I just charge it.
you're right. Well, and then you're just going to be like, I'm bored. I'm homesick, or as
Yeah.
Disney folk put it, I want to
Um,
watch the OG.
I want to go back in time and go home to Star Tours and see Rex pilot the thing.
Right. And have you put any other figures in it yet?
No, I haven't. I've only taken off the top and I've also opened the doors because there's a button on the back. When you press the button, all 5 doors open up at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, and when you get the batteries, it makes that Star Tours doo 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 noise when you open up the doors. It's pretty fabulous. And I'm still like I'm in love with this as much as the sail barge. I'll put it that way. I don't know which
Right.
one's my favorite, but
And like we always gripe about money. I mean, that was $300, and look at the electronics and stuff that they put into it. If Hasbro was going to be it, it would $500-600, and it would have no electronics.
yeah, I don't understand why uh Disney can do it, but Hasbro can't.
Right.
And they can add
Unless,
it to the G.I. Joe stuff, but they can't add it to the Star Wars stuff.
yeah.
And even we're at Narayan's, sorry, I'll wrap this
No, no,
up.
you're fine.
The Ghost for $60 has lights and electronics for Micro Galaxy Squadron. And I don't know why Hasbro didn't do it. It looks
Right.
incredible.
No, it does. And I mean, I understand size-wise, but the Micro Galaxy Ghost has all 4 bedrooms, where the HasLab Ghost only has 2 bedrooms.
I see.
It's a lot better to scale, but I'm
Yeah.
I'm still paid the $500 for the HasLab Ghost because it's the freaking Ghost. And Jordan, I need my Phantom.
Come on, man. Get it together.
We just haven't hooked up. He got it for me a couple of weeks ago, and since then I've found it like 2 or 3 different times at stores, and I'm like, I can't get it because Jordan has it for me. Um, but it don't matter because all I do is open it up, put it on a Ghost, and be like, oh, put it on my shelf and forget about it.
Yeah. But other than the Star Speeder, the only other thing that I picked up, I was at Ollie's this week, and for reasons we'll get into, I was looking for retro figures to try to take the bubble off the card and reuse that.
Yeah.
I did buy the Vader from Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've been searching Ross's for the book of Boba Fett. I did find Boba Fett in Cad Bane, but the bubbles and card were just so messed up. I was like, I can't. It would be a waste of money for me to buy that.
Gotcha.
I think that's
Awesome.
it. Something came in the mail, but I can't remember what.
Chopper and Sabine.
But I got that
Oh.
got it the day we recorded last week.
Oh, yeah. That's because you're Hasbro Pulse. You're bougie like that.
Well, we'll get into it. It's not as bougie as you think. Some of the perks are just flat out lies.
Oh, I did. I got my Chopper and Sabine. It came in yesterday, and I think I'm gonna have to contact Hasbro about them because I've got them sitting right here, but the outside box is pristine. And when I pulled them out, I was like, oh man, my Chopper's creased. The card's creased on Chopper. And these are cards that I'd want to hold on to because they are the individual mural cards. And I do plan on opening them, but I'd like the card to be in good shape. because I'm going to plan to take a razor blade and cut the bubble off and be really precise to kind of keep the card clean. And I was like, man, my chopper card's creased. That kind of sucks. Then I look at my Sabine card and it's creased. And what it looks like happened is when they put it, because they fit really tight in the outer box, I think what happened is whoever put the cards in the box, just because if you put the cards, bubble to bubble, it's the same side of the card. So I think whoever put it in the box just grabbed it and just shoved them in that box and creased both cards. So, yeah, I'm going to contact Hasbro either later today or Monday, send them an email and be like, come on, guys. See if they'll do anything, maybe send me another card back or send me some more figures. I'm not expecting anything because they'll be like, it's a card back. It's not the figure, but, we'll see what happens.
I would tell them that you're just you're a carded collector and you can't do anything with it. Anyways.
Yeah. And then I also,
if we were morning radio, 94 Zoo or whatever, when you said your chopper was creased, we'd hit the button that said, my Wookie.
Oh, good old
Ralphie. Good old Ralphie, the one that thought ahead and kept all his figures carded, which will probably be worth thousands of dollars now. The idiot kid on the show is the richest.
Right. I am Star Wars.
I'm a Star Wars.
I got my Hoth, the Starbucks Hoth mug.
Yeah.
Got that. I was really there again. Was really surprised that Disney just shipped it. They literally, I mean, it's boxed up pretty nicely, but then they shipped it in a bigger box with just like one thing of paper. So it was just banging around the box. And I'm like, there again, I'd be really upset if it was broken, but I'm sure Disney would take care of me. Yeah, and I think that's all I got Star Wars wise. But we while we were driving over to Narayan's last night, you're driving and I'm on Facebook, and of course, when you go on a cruise or whatever, there's Facebook groups for cruise, Facebook specific groups for the cruise. And somebody had posted up, who's looking for a cabana at Castaway Cay? And I was like, me? Well, there's only like 26 of them. And the way Disney does it is the people who pay the most money get the first dibs. So it's really hard to get a cabana. So I got a cabana last night for Castaway Cay. So that's, I'm going to be living bougie in Castaway Cay. It's Castaway Cay. At least 8 hours, I get to live the bougie life.
Very demure. Very classy.
I'm pretty excited about that. So then that's what we spent last night, just going on videos and stuff. Because my wife was like, I want a cabana, and I'm like, babe, there's only like 26 of them. And even the real estate agent, our travel agent, was like, you guys aren't gonna get one, and we got one. And then it's just really weird because like when the window opens to start booking stuff, everything seems to be booked up. But now that the cruise is getting closer, things are opening up. So I don't know if people grabbed reservations and then returned them or not.
Yeah.
But like the steakhouse, I was able to get a reservation for the steakhouse this morning. And hopefully, I think it should be on Pirate Night, which is like a seafood menu in the restaurant. So, and I've heard it's not that good. So it's like, I'll go have a steak. You guys can have your crappy seafood.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. But now I got to go buy a nice shirt.
You don't have a nice shirt?
The problem is I get a nice shirt and then don't wear it for a couple of years, and I go to put it on and I'm like, it shrunk.
Or the shirt?
The shirt
shrunk.
Which means I got fatter.
Yeah.
Because I don't have them. I mean, I've got nice shirts, but it's not. Because I wear a polo shirt to work, or the uniform. I don't need a nice shirt. But I guess I'm gonna have to buy a nice shirt.
I have news. I didn't know how to go from cruises to newses. There I go. From cruises to newses.
I would do but Zoom's not going to pick that up.
Yeah, I think it will. I just heard it.
Okay, well then hopefully it picked it up.
Because what if you're singing? Zoom
Oh
can't
yeah.
cancel that out. Do 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 do.
Hey, I heard it. So there you go.
Unfortunately, the biggest news of the week is the saddest. The voice of Darth Vader, massive presence on screen, stage, and film. Screen, stage, that's all the same. Anyways, one of the EGOT winners. There was only 22 EGOT winners alive, I believe, and now we're down to 21. James Earl Jones has passed away. It's just really sad.
Yeah, that was sad. And we're getting to that age where all of our heroes are passing away.
Yeah, and I had just watched Field of Dreams the weekend before, so to see him kind of walk into the field and then the same week to see him pass away was really down. It made me sad. It made me a little down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, George Lucas issued a statement this week. It said James was an incredible actor, a most unique voice, both in spirit and in art. For nearly half a century, it was Darth Vader, but the secret to it all was, or is, was a beautiful human being. He gave depth, sincerity, and meaning to all his roles. Amongst the most important being a devoted husband to the late Cece and dad to Flynn. James will be missed by so many of us, friends and fans alike. George Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, and he looks like he'd be one of those people that would, he could be your best friend 1 minute and then scare the crap out of you the next.
Well, yeah, to that point, I mean, he was Mustafa in Lion King, where he was the dad figure, the loving, firm, caring, thinking about your future dad that I think is an ideal dad. And then he was the opposite Darth Vader, the worst dad, Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars. So, I mean, he had full range and he commanded, attention whenever he was on screen. Um, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, but it happens. It's life. I don't know how to it. Yeah, it.
We gave a moment of silence yesterday. It was really nice of Lewis to incorporate that in the programming for his meetup yesterday. We did do a moment of silence for James Earl Jones, who
Yeah,
made Darth Vader even more, um, uh, gave him more presence because he is pretty massive. His silhouette just, takes up a lot of the frame, and it's all black, and he's pretty massive. But when you hear that voice, it just adds to that character so much.
right. And have you seen the video of David Prowse voicing Darth Vader, like underneath the
Yeah,
helmet?
yeah. You are part of a bit of lions in a chat here.
So yeah, Darth Vader would not be the same without James Earl Jones.
No. PulseCon happened this week,
Yay.
and from what I was not impressed. I mean,
Hmm.
it's cool that we've got all this stuff, but they were releasing a lot of the pipeline things we've already known about for the most part.
Right.
Um, so it was kind of anticlimactic, but I was talking to other people and they thought, even from Marvel and G.I. Joe, it was the same thing. It was rather underwhelming, and the whole thing was just kind of okay.
Well, I mean, we get an armless man.
Yeah, we'll get into that. For the vintage collection, they did show off Luke Skywalker from Tatooine, Farm Boy Luke. I don't know what it is, but they cannot get Mark Hamill's likeness right in that scale.
Yeah.
Jedi Master Indara from the Acolyte, Deidre Mero from Andor, Anakin Skywalker from Ahsoka in the flashbacks. Got that. Clone Trooper Lieutenant Teth. And then they announced the Streets of Mos Eisley playset, which is, excuse me, a bunch of like walls put together. It's similar and modular to the Cantina and the other previous playsets they've done, but it comes with a drunk Jawa.
Oh, he's drunk?
I think so. Or at least in the movie, he's just hanging out and he's kind of just sleeping. Maybe he's a homeless Jawa or unhoused Jawa, which is stupid. But yeah. So it comes with one of those, and that will be $60, which seems like a lot of money for that playset.
It is. It's like, why? Oh yeah, he is homeless. Look at that. I don't understand how they can get away with that because I mean, it does seem like it's just
He's sleeping. Shh. As you walk by, just keep quiet so you don't wake the Jawa. Shh.
Right. I'm not talking about the Jawa. I'm talking about the playset because it looks cheesy. But I mean, I guess if you're going to spend the $500 on the cantina and you want to add some stuff to the outside,
Yeah.
that's what you would do.
I think in that respect, it's a smart thing for Hasbro to do to make that playset to enhance your cantina when that arrives. But for the most part, it's
And I mean, I guess it does look like it. You could army build, for a lack of a better term, or get a couple of them and, um, put a diorama around if you have a big enough space.
it
Maybe do
doesn't
some weathering, huh?
it doesn't feel like a $60 playset.
No.
It's like I don't know where the money is here, but
Well, if I think the only reason it's a $60 playset is that's what they charge for playsets.
yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it looks okay, but I'm not a playset guy. Oh, that's kind of cool. They got the eye that pops out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got some cool playability, but
Where'd you go up to?
yeah.
And then for the Black Series, you got Prince Caesar, who they've announced previously, which will be a must get for me because
That's a badass looking figure.
I'm a Shadows of the Empire fan. Lucasfilm shouldn't have wiped that one away.
That figure is a very, very impressive looking figure.
Mm-hmm.
They got him right.
It feels 90s, which I love.
Right.
Clone Commander Bakara, excuse me, Commando Droid, which I think they said was like the last Clone Wars droid that they hadn't made yet, or something like that.
What? They make all
The
kinds of droids.
the armor roleplay helmet.
Oh, I have a
And
story about a roleplay helmet when we get done with this.
they have they had Emily Swallows from The Mandalorian who plays the armor on the show to unveil the helmet and put it on and all that stuff. So that was kind of cool to listen to. And then the Stap and Battle Droid went on sale, which is a PulseCon exclusive. They also announced the Black Series Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia from A New Hope. So there's 2 new versions of that coming for the Black Series. And then they also announced Dagan Gera, who's some character from Jedi Survivor, but he only has 1 arm and 2 legs. So it's no wonder why Hasbro decided to make that figure over other characters that are more prominent in the show or in the video game. It's because they were like, ooh, we can, make 3 limbs for this character and charge the same amount of money.
Right. We don't need an extra arm mold.
They're just sitting there with their shoulders shrugged. Well, Lucasfilm gave us this character, so I guess we gotta do it. Next thing you know, they're gonna be making Darth Maul from without the kneecap down.
and then
he didn't have the limbs in the show.
You want both figures? You got to buy 2 different figures.
And then the final thing they'll do is the burnt up Anakin figure. So he won't have an arm. He won't have 2 legs below the kneecap. They don't really have to do much for paint application because it's all black. So, and they'll just be pitching it. Now you can be on the side of lava screaming that you hate your friends.
I hate you. And then when he gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you can introduce him.
There's no pipeline or retro reveals this time around, which I was a little disappointed about with the retro line because it's been quiet for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that stunk yesterday was that they advertised Pulse Premium members were able to pre-order 1 hour in advance of everyone else.
Right.
And it seemed like for quite a few of us, I can't say this is everyone, but for quite a few of us, we weren't able to order. It took me an hour to get the figures. We kept getting this error message that said there's too many people ordering. And then 5 o'clock rolls around when everything opens up for everyone. And I was able to order. So, I mean, yes, I was able to order, but what's the point of having this membership with the perks and your perks don't work?
Right. I don't know.
That's money well spent.
Right. How much was the membership?
If membership's $50 for the year, you get free shipping, which pays
that's
for
the free
itself.
shipping thing. Yeah, I got you.
But don't tell me I get special perks and then, I don't have access to it.
Right. I mean, the only thing that I would consider good with that membership is the free shipping, because I'm looking at my Sabine and Chopper, and it was $7 for shipping. So I mean, you do that a couple of times, and you pay for it. But I mean, the Ghost had $50 shipping, but I don't know. I
Um,
probably should have gone with that, but it's like how long is it good for? Yeah, I know it's only good for a year, but how many purchases am I going to make in that year?
yeah. Um, let's see what else. Micro Galaxy Squadron. The actor who plays Carson Teva has a toy channel on YouTube, and he was able to unveil Series 7 for Micro Galaxy Squadron. The light armor class will include the TIE Whisperer Battle Damage, an Armada Vulture Droid, Baronfell TIE Interceptor, which I'm not sure what that is, and then Saiz 10 Jedi Starfighter,
You know what
which
that
is
tie
green.
interceptor is?
What?
It's another tie interceptor they can put another different paint scheme on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shin Hati Starfighter for the Starfighter class. We'll get Shin Hati and her Starfighter from Ahsoka Merrick and his Starfighter, an Armada Snowspeeder, Phantom 2, Darth Maul Nightbrother Gauntlet. Those will all be coming. And then they did show off the V16 Torrent or V19 Torrent and then a Dreadnought class T6. Those are shown off. And then for Scout class, there's the Dirge Speeder with Dirge from the old Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Jedi Speeder with a Jedi Master Kelnaka from Acolyte. Barrack Speeder with the Sidecar and Captain Rex. Sabine Speeder from Ahsoka with Sabine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that one.
A Bark Speeder Blue with a Clone Trooper Lieutenant. And a yellow one with a Clone Trooper Commander. Kind of underwhelming. I kind of feel like, I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I can feel that line slowly dying because it is getting to where it's like underwhelming. I mean, it's like they've had all the heavy hitters. Now it's like let's start, instead of like do like a heavy hitter and then something that's not going to hit heavy, and kind of bouncing back and forth. That's like we're going to throw everything at you first, and now we're getting to the crap, and here's the crap.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor received a oh, was drinking water and went down the wrong pipe. Ewan McGregor received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame this week. Hayden was there to speak at the ceremony. During the time there, Ewan talked to Variety and said, "I really hope we get a chance to do another, a Disney Plus series between where we ended off at the series and when Alec Guinness comes on screen with Luke Skywalker. I think there's another story there to tell." So this week I was taking my trash out and I was wearing my Darth Vader pajama pants because it was still early in the morning and I hadn't showered yet. And I scared one of the guys that are working on my deck.
Uh-huh.
And he looks down and goes, "Oh, cool, man. I worked on Kenobi." And I'm like, Excuse me, sir,
You're
what?"
like, hello there. You went from being aggravated and pissed off to being aroused and like, let's
Wasn't
talk
aggravated.
Kenobi.
Wasn't aggravated. And I should clarify that I wasn't aroused, but I was excited to talk to him.
You were like, that's my man crush.
And he was a first unit, he was a director in the stunt department. But I showed him my 3D printed cantina and my Star Destroyer, just because those were in the garage and were right there. And he's like, "Oh, cool, let me show you something." So he pulls up his phone and he starts showing me set footage from the set. And you know that scene where they're in the Inquisitor fortress
Uh-huh.
and they're underwater and then like
And then he puts Leia underneath his trench coat.
yeah, but before that, there's a hallway that gets flooded.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a shot, it was like a rehearsal shot of that, and it was one stormtrooper in that hallway. There was no blue screen, so it was just like an open set, and they were testing the water coming in. So he told me it was like 100 psi. So the stormtrooper standing there, and you can his legs are out and his arms are out, like he's ready to fall,
Uh-huh.
and the water comes blasting out, and he's just standing there taking it without anything happening. So he starts inching his way across the hall, kind of taking small steps until he's like right next to the window,
Uh-huh.
right next to the water, and like nothing's happening. So the test went well. He also showed me a scene with the 501st when they do that invasion, when they're like right before the ending, they were like trapped and they try to. It's the scene where Vader and oh my gosh, why is my brain failing me right now?
Because you're so excited.
You know the caverns where they were like hiding out and they needed time to like fix the ship so they can escape the Star Destroyer. It was that scene. There was a bunch of 501st racing into the base, and he was telling me that everybody falling who had sparks coming out, all the stormtroopers. There's about 50 stormtroopers, and
Mhm.
there's little sparks coming from the chest armor, and he was telling me those were the stunt performers.
Oh, cool.
And the last thing he showed me was Vader just turning towards the camera. I was like, "Oh man, is that Hayden?" He's like, "No, this is a stunt performer." Hayden had like 16 hours of makeup he had to do for the back to tank shot.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy. That's so awesome. The one thing I do like about um shoot Lucasfilm is when they're smart enough to where like when they need a big bunch of stormtroopers, they just call the 501st. Like, hey
Yeah.
guys, we need
And
like
then
50 of you to show up.
yeah, and then it's all screen used uniforms and costumes. So it's like suddenly your homemade, costume is now a screen used prop,
Right.
which is awesome for the 501st.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
awesome. Yes.
the last thing I have is Tyburn Film Productions this week claims that they own Peter Cushing's likeness, so they decided to sue Disney for the use of his likeness in Rogue One. And
Okay.
this is 8 years after the release of the movie. They said Disney didn't have the right to use the likeness. Disney did pay the family money to use it,
hmm
but I mean, it's just starting. So who knows if this will actually go to court.
They're like, hey, we need money. Let's sue Disney.
Exactly.
Hey, but were they Disney Plus subscribers? Because if you're a Disney Plus subscriber,
I wonder how that works for a company. If a company subscribes to Disney Plus, does the company lose all rights to sue Disney?
I don't know. But the good point on that, just so that, yes, we're making fun of Disney for that, but Disney did drop that part of the lawsuit, and I think they're settling with the guy. So good for them.
Yes, they are. That's a good update. Disney
Yeah.
decided, you know what? They should just have their date in court because we see this is reaching all the news channels.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
And
So anyway,
then,
so go. Oh, you still got more news. Go, 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 go.
yeah, no, go.
No, I was
Were
going to
you gonna?
talk about an order, but finish your news and then I'll say. I thought you were done with the news.
I'm done with the news. The only thing I had left real quick is we had a comment on YouTube from Joseph Caprino 6096. I literally just sent a message to Hasbro. Quite frankly, I'm pissed off. I'm backed and funded and paid for this thing in full almost a year ago. This is a
Oh, hold on.
comment to our ghost thing.
Yes.
With zero updates, all we ever gotten was shipping fall 2024. It's September. My prediction is that they're going to announce shipping at Hasbro PulseCon, which they didn't do. That was me. In my opinion, it's a little too late, though. Of course, I'm still keeping it, and of course, I've already paid for it, but it's really a crappy way of taking care of your dedicated customers that pay $600 for a toy they've never seen or touched in person.
Yeah. Well,
So he
go
agrees
ahead.
with you. He
Huh?
agrees with you.
Yeah, no. And we were talking to Tony yesterday, and he's like, I got $2,500 tied up with Hasbro Pulse stuff that I haven't seen hide nor hair of anything of any of that stuff yet.
Yeah, the least they can do is just give us updates along the way. Just say, hey, we just want to let everybody know what the Hasbro Ghost or HasLab Ghost that, you know, we've got the ramp done.
Right. How hard is it to send out an email? I mean, I get it. They have a crew, a service that does that for every time they release a toy. I get an email saying, "Hey, this is so and so from Hasbro. The firm representing Hasbro. This is all the stuff we're putting out. Why? How hard would it be to look at that firm and be like, put these pictures out, give
Yeah.
them this update? Hey, we got packaging. Hey, it's arrived from China. Something." Because I
We
mean, it is
figured out the
annoying.
styrofoam orientation inside the box.
Right. I mean, it doesn't need to be that. But hey, it's off to production, or we got it back from production, or hey, this is the pictures of it, or something, because that's the kind of stuff. I mean, because with the barge, they set the bar so high with the barge, and then it seems like Nothing. I mean, I have a Razor Crest, but I didn't back it, so I don't know the process. This is the first HasLab that I've backed, and it does feel like it's very underwhelming.
Let me educate you on the process.
Yes, sir.
This is the process. You get no communication until the thing arrives.
Right. All of a sudden, it shows up at your doorstep, and you're like, "What's this big box?" Or what would happen is that you probably get a thing on your ring. What is UPS? Why are they shipping, trying to deliver? They need a fudge. Why do they need signature confirmation on this big box? Oh, it's the ghost. Thanks, HasLab.
I don't even think you need maybe you do, but
I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I would hope not, because then that would totally mess me up.
um, but yeah, I mean, it could be as late as Christmas when we receive this thing because, like we mentioned last week, December 21st is the end of fall, start of winter,
Yeah.
and so who knows?
Yeah.
But that's all the news I had.
Yeah, no, I got a gripe because I had ordered the Sabine roleplay helmet, and when you said roleplay helmet, I'm like, I gotta remember to talk about this. So I had ordered it on Amazon like right when it was first introduced, and I've been watching. So it was a year out, and I've been watching the order like it would, because you can go and look at your orders on Amazon, and it'll show a picture. Well, then the picture would show up and disappear and show up and disappear. And it kept showing for $100. I'm like, sweet, it's 130 right now. So with it showing $100, that's what I'm going to get the thing for. Well, I checked it because I saw that it was supposed to get here in October. It and the date would move and everything. And I went to check it the other day, and it's just gone out of my cart.
Out of your previous orders?
Yeah, it's gone. I can't find it. Like I looked to make sure nobody canceled it, because it's a Amazon we share with all of Mandy's family. So I looked to make sure. I talked to Mandy about it, and it's gone. I was like,
Do you have email confirmation?
I'm sure I could find the email confirmation. My
I would do
mother-in-law
that.
has it, but it's from a year ago.
Well, start looking.
Yeah, and I guess I could be like, hey, but it's
That's
not like, because
weird.
they don't charge you till they ship it.
Right.
And the only annoying thing is that it showed up for $100 in my cart. Now
Was
it's
it in your
130.
cart or did you buy it?
It was in I bought it, because
Okay.
what they'll do is you buy it, and then they don't pay you till it ships. Or they don't charge you till it ships.
Well, maybe Jeff Bezos forgot to order one himself and he decided just to take yours.
He probably did. And then Mandy was like, "You want me to just order another one?" I'm like, "That's not the point.
The
It's
point is Jeff Bezos has mine now.
right." And it's like it's $130. I mean, I can play the long game on the Sabine helmet, no matter, even though I really want it, I'll play the long game on it, because I don't think everybody that has one's gonna,
No,
they
but the
probably made more than they need, huh?
Black Series helmets do increase in value.
I may need to sell my Vader then, because I got a Vader and a Stormtrooper that's just sitting there.
They're pretty cool.
They're awesome. I don't know. I'm trying, huh?
I wish I could fit the Stormtrooper one over my head. My brain's too big. I've got too much going on, and it doesn't fit over this noggin.
Right. I mean, the Stormtrooper looks awesome. Both helmets look great. For $100 helmet, they call it a 10-foot helmet or a 20-foot helmet, where it looks great at 20 feet. And then you have people that you can get up close to it and you start seeing screw holes and stuff. But if you're trying to do something cheap, they're great helmets. The Black Series helmets, Hasbro really has stepped it up on those. But I don't know. Sometimes I just go through my collection and I'm like, what could I sell that I don't play with to make money? I don't know if you do that or not.
I don't. I need to. Although to my defense, though, a lot of the stuff I have is production stuff. So it's like, it's not worth a lot. Black Series has decreased in value. A lot of the carded figures have decreased in value. I mean, we've gone through this before.
Right. So, I mean, like, and I've tried like bringing them to meetups, and nobody's interested in them, because I mean, they're big helmets. Plus they just re-released the Darth Vader one in a different paint scheme so I don't know if people would be interested in it or not. And then like last night we were talking that I'm trying to raise funds to buy another Bill and Ted piece, and I'm looking at my Carrie Fisher autograph, and I'm like, I know I can raise the funds plus some if I was sell this. So long story short, I collect autographs to collect the memories. I don't collect autographs to collect the autographs. I collect the autographs to meet the people. And it's a cool piece, but it's like I have no emotional ties to it other than the fact that it's a Carrie Fisher autograph. And I mean, it's framed up real nice. It'd be a bear to ship, but I think I could do it. And I don't know. I may throw it up on Deal or No Deal, see what happens if I get enough money for it, sell it. But
Oh, are you inviting listeners right now to make you an offer? Is that what's going on? You're doing just an eBay live sale right now?
yes, eBay live sale. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody, if you want to throw a bid, just PM Glenn Williams on Facebook.
Comment on this post on Instagram. What? No, what?
$30.
$30. Let's start. $30.
Who's got 35? Who's got 35? Oh, what?
God, that was so bad yesterday. We did an auction, and of course, my wife is just like, I'm like, babe, stop bidding. She keeps bidding. I'm like, stop bidding.
You have one job, sir, and that is to auction this thing off, not auction off and try to tell your wife to stop bidding. If you don't want your wife to bid, then find another auctioneer.
All right. We had a meetup yesterday. Long day.
Yeah, we did.
It was awesome, though. It was a really, really awesome day. Lewis and April, they host our we're in September, right? Our September meetups. And I mean, they got a really nice layout. They got a nice big carport, so they set everything up. The weather, I thought the weather was going to be a lot worse today. I thought because they've been calling for rain all weekend because of the hurricane coming through, the remnants of the hurricane. And I guess it broke up because we got a little bit of rain, but nothing made, a misting is what I would call it.
Yeah.
And then it's sunny. It's beautiful outside right now. So I don't know what's going on. Is it beautiful?
It's not beautiful for me. I got rain. There was rain this morning as I was trying to spray paint my Walrus Man head, but
well, never mind. It looks 5 minutes or when we started recording, or at least coming through my window, it looked nice until it's a little overcast. It's not,
but it's sunshine in your heart.
Yeah, I like a little bit of an overcast day because it keeps it cool and you pretend you don't get sunburned.
Pretend.
Yeah, but no, he would, and I felt kind of bad because Lewis was starting to cook, and then of course right as he throws the meat on the grill, it starts raining. I'm like, dude, you need help? It's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But he eventually, I think, moved the grill towards the inside so he can at least be inside underneath the cover.
Yeah.
But no, Lewis
carport.
does. The carport. But he always does a good job. His collection is very unique because he does a lot of customization on his figures, and it's stuff that he finds around his house to customize stuff.
Yeah, Narayan and I were admiring his Jackson because he used the Ponda Baba head, and that's how he made like the nose and the puffy cheeks that a bunny has, and then he sculpted his own ears. So it was a custom, but it looked like a vintage Jackson, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so he does a really good job incorporating, like, he's very handy, and it's come into his collection. So it's a very unique collection, and it makes it fun to look at because it's stuff that you've never seen before, and he thinks differently than, he's like, oh, this straw would work perfect on that, and then he makes it work.
Yeah.
So it's just an amazing collection to see.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. And he did a little presentation. He always does like presentations, and he got you to autograph one of your books.
Yeah. That was touching.
Yeah, so that was awesome. You were just like, he's like, we have an author in the midst, and I'm like, an author?
We do? Even I was like, what's he talking about?
And then he pulls out one of your books, and he actually like ordered that off Amazon. And I was talking to my wife because my wife has your book, and she was like, I was like, yeah, it's autographed. And oh, what? And she goes, I think I ordered it off Amazon too. I said, no, I think he gave you that book. She's just like, oh, but no, everybody
if you have read my book, please give it a good review on Amazon because that helps authors.
So everybody that read it had nothing but good things to say about it. It was like, wow, I think like 5 people, or it felt like 2 or 3 people had like read the book or actually like went and hunted down yesterday.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And then he the winning. He did like a trivia, and that was like the winning question was like, who's Sabine Wren's favorite biggest fan? And of course,
It was Glenn.
it was me. And no, it was awesome. And
True or false? Darth Vader's lightsaber is red.
it wasn't that easy. Some of the stuff he had was pretty tough.
It was pretty easy for the Sabine one. That was a giveaway.
Right. Yeah. But no, he always does an awesome job, and it's fun getting up there and hanging out with everybody. But yeah, this was our first meetup since May 4th, or Rogue Fun. So it's been a couple of months.
It was good not to have to do anything.
Right.
I was just able to chill and have a burger, enjoy a Angry Orchard, and put my feet up.
Right. Oh, that was another thing he did, because he like messages everybody, what kind of beer are you drinking? Wow, he had it. So
yeah, he cares. Yeah. Not everybody needs to do that. Don't worry about it. But it was just nice added extra touch.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
and then
it was fun.
That's all we have to say about the meetup.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good meetup, and then we went to Second Chance. We had a ruse. A ruse was hatched.
It was awesome, and it was because it's Narayan's wife. Started talking to us a couple of months ago about doing a surprise 50th birthday party for Narayan.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, how are we going to pull this off? And it just so happened to be the same day as our meetup. So it was us and our wives and his wife trying to hash the plan. And
no, go ahead.
And the only way we were able to do it, or to think to stall Narayan, was like, Second Chance needs us to go look at their new room because they're having a meetup there next month.
Yeah. The club is meeting up at Second Chance next month. And so we had to figure out a way to kill some time, because we didn't want Narayan to be there before 5. But if he left Lewis's at 4 when we all ended, he would have gotten there at 5. So we needed to delay him somehow, which is why we went to Second Chance. We hatched that plan, and we were able to kill a half hour, or that was enough time.
Yeah, just enough time. Because it was a half hour, 45 minutes, because you drove like a bat out of hell to make it to his house in time.
We were racing.
Yeah, we were racing because our wives, everybody was watching us and him on the Find My app on the phones. And they were going to get him to stop at Publix for something. And then, oh, no, he's an hour away. And Jason and Glenn are only like half an hour, so they'll be good. And then all of a sudden they're like, you're only 3 minutes ahead of him. You got to go.
Yeah, the pressure was on to get there, to run into the house before Narayan showed up. Because the cover story, he's like a one-way street, or it's a dead-end street, I should say.
Yeah, it goes into a cul-de-sac, so dead end.
And they're the only ones that have a party, so they had to throw it on a neighbor. The neighbor was having a party, and then they tricked Narayan by telling him that there was a flood by the pool. So he raced down the steps. He opened the door, and instead of flooding, he saw a flood of love, because his friends and family were there to wish him a happy 50th birthday.
Yeah. So it was that was awesome, because it's like you don't see Narayan speechless very often, and he was speechless in that moment.
Yeah.
And you could tell how touched he was, because and I don't know if he was more happy that there wasn't water in his Star Wars room, or he had a bunch of friends showing up for his 50th, because I think his wife knows how to get him just flustered enough to where he stops thinking about why is there so many cars.
Yep.
And then he gets downstairs, and it's just like the look on his face was incredible. So yeah, and what makes it even more incredible, it's like everybody that was at Lewis, because Lewis and April are like an hour from Narayan, so we got done at Lewis and April's, and everybody rushed to Narayan's house. So I mean, that even that he made it even more touching that everybody was thinks enough of him to drive, get done with one party and drive an hour to his party. So Narayan's an awesome guy, and it was awesome to surprise him and celebrate him like we did last night.
And Jerry was in town, so Jerry was able to show up and hang out with us for a little bit, celebrate Narayan's 50th, and then we made arrangements to have Mr. Tim Effler there to wish Narayan a happy birthday. Narayan was completely shocked by that too.
Yeah.
And,
It was awesome. And then we had reached out to our buddy Ryan that makes custom figures and had him make a custom figure of Narayan, because it's like, what do you get for the guy that has everything but a custom figure
of himself
of himself?
by
So
one of the best in the industry of
yeah, so
customers.
it looks incredible. I mean, it looks just like Narayan. He even did. Jerry kept going about how the glasses, and he's like, dude, you know how hard it is to do glasses? And I'm like, I'm sure, because they're little bitty.
Yeah.
And I mean, it looks incredible. You had thrown you did the card back and had
Yes.
thrown some of the ice cream patches. How did you make them that small? Because they
Just
look
printed them small, and then I
okay.
cut them out.
Okay, they look incredible, and you did a little mini Cantono in there.
That was Ryan. Ryan wanted to do that. Ryan was the one that Ryan's basically the project manager, director, sculptor. He's the one telling me what to do with the card back and how to case it. And so he made the Camtono. I printed out the patches and we put them inside the bubble to make it look like confetti or something, and
Yeah.
sealed it up. I spoke with both Ryan and Gary. I was like, I want to hear from the experts, and they said to use double-sided tape because it's just a one-off to attach the bubble. And that's
Yeah.
why I went to get retro figures, because I wanted to use the bubble for this card back. But then Ryan had a couple extras, and he just sent that my way, so I was able to use a clean bubble.
No, it's a cool looking figure. It definitely is. Should hold. He should put it in his case and put like lights down on it or something, because it looks really awesome.
And
Is it?
Tim Effler was there, like I mentioned, and he's essentially Star Wars royalty, especially to us collectors. Like it's having an angelic figure at your meetup. It's pretty. I don't know how else to describe it. It's pretty awesome to have like a action figure celebrity, I guess. That's the
Right.
best way to put it. But he was eating by the trash. It's like a pull-out trash in the counter, and nobody wanted to bug him. And I found this out later because I was sitting there waiting for him to finish. So I was just holding on to my plate, but I couldn't throw it out until he moved. I didn't want to mess or ask him to move or anything like that, because he was eating at the time. I didn't want to disturb him. And he stepped away for a second, and I put my trash in there, and suddenly like 6 other people quickly put their trash in there. No one wanted to. We were all doing the same thing. We didn't want to disrupt him eating his dinner. Just let him enjoy his dinner. And when he's done, I'll throw out my trash.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, yeah. Such a fun time last night. And then we ended up going back over to your house, because the original plan was that we were going to each drive separate. So I was going to drive with my wife, you were going to drive with your wife, and then it would be like they were going to come up with some excuse that, oh, we don't want to go to Second Chance, so you guys go. And they were going to drive to your house or drive to Narayan's afterwards. And they come to find out, because your wife made the cake, and there was an accident with the cake, so she had to stay behind to redo the cake, and so she missed out on the meetup. But where was I going with this? Anyway, our wives drove separate, and we ended up back at your house. And but oh shoot, I don't know where I'm going. So and then we ended up back at your house, and I'm thinking I'm going to go home, and you break out cigars because you got your deck going, and we just hung out on the deck till like 11 last night. Reminiscing on the day. So it was a good end to the day. Yeah, we almost died.
Well, yes and no. Some guy was passing another car in a double-lane highway. Like, you shouldn't be able to pass there because it's a curve.
Right.
And the next thing I know, this car is racing at me is because it's trying to pass this guy.
Right. And
But
we're
I did
just like,
slam on my brakes and pull off on the side of the road.
yeah, and I'm busy trying I'm talking to my son. I'm trying to get this cabana, and then Lewis is calling me, so I'm paying attention to what's going on my phone. And next thing you know, Jason's like, "Oh my god!" And I look up, and I'm like, "Oh!" So it was oh my god, we almost died. Not almost died, but it was like near life experience. And then at the end of the night, I was talking to Narayan. I don't know if you were standing there or not, but Narayan's like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute." So Second Chance was just a ruse.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
We were like, yes.
Yep. I think we're all cut up now. Have a happy 50th.
Yep. And he was just like, wow, I didn't even think about it. I was expecting him to eventually put 2 and 2 together, but he just never did, which was awesome.
I did have a brief one-on-one moment with Mr. Effler at the party, which was cool, and we did get to talking about like 3D printing and stuff. He's working on a book, and I asked him, does he ever get the itch to design toys? Like, I know he's retired, but you've done it for so long. And then he did it with soda. I was just, do you get the itch? And he's like, I'm more of a conceptual guy. I like doing the inventions. So every once in a while he'll do a sketch or two, but
yeah.
But to answer my question, yeah, he does still get the itch to do it. So
There you go. It's like, I gotcha. And another interesting thing about last night, it was fun watching a person that we all look up to in the community, in Narayan, explain his collection to his friends
who don't know anything about Star Wars.
It's just like, so, and one of his friends was like, so tell me, what is this swag stuff? What is swag? And Narayan's
swag is stuff we all get.
Here's Michael Scott.
Yeah.
So it was interesting having that happen, being a fly on the wall for that conversation. And you had actually made a logo, the 50th, took the 50th. Was it 50th or 40th?
It's the 50th for Lucasfilm. So I just took off Lucasfilm and I put Narayan Nike.
So you had done a big poster and a button. So there were swag at his party, and like everybody was just like, oh, because I think there was people that hadn't seen his collection or hadn't, that was like, oh, so there really are other nerds.
Yeah. We're everywhere.
Yes. So it was fun watching that happen.
But that 50th was, again, directed by Ryan. He said, we got to do something to commemorate it. Like, he was thinking like the sticker, like the offer stickers, and putting something like that on the card back. But then I remembered the 50th logo for Lucasfilm, and I thought that worked perfectly well. So I put it in the same place as the modern 50th Lucasfilm logo on TVC.
Yeah, it was just a fun night, and when you can, it's awesome when you can surprise somebody.
Yeah,
because I mean
worked.
he was excited about the figure, he was excited about the party. It's like, yes, we pulled it off.
The whole time we're driving to his place, and you're like, I think he knows, I think he suspects. I'm like, no, dude, we're good. His wife also ordered these cake toppers for the cake.
Yeah,
put around, because it's the poster cake from the poster from the vintage poster,
first
celebrating
birthday.
the 1-year anniversary of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, we couldn't figure out who it was. It was cake toppers from the Mandalorian. They're probably about an inch and they're super deformed. And there was a Vader and a Yoda, but there was one character we couldn't figure out who it was. And I think it was Grief Karga. I even pulled up a photo, and it's pretty accurate to Grief Karga, except that he was Caucasian.
Okay.
But if you change the skin color, it looks just like Grief Karga. So I think that's what they did. It was just they ordered cake toppers off a Wish.
Okay.
No, it was Amazon, but I mean, it's essentially ordering.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they don't have a good picture. I pulled up a picture of the cake, and he must be sitting on the bottom of the cake because I don't see him. I see there's somebody that could fit that, but there's not a good picture of him.
But yeah, it was a great time, and everyone had fun.
Yeah, I almost ate BB-8, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there
the
eating
cake topper. The cake topper BB-8.
And I'm like, what's this hard thing in the cake? And I look at it, it's BB-8. And hey, guess what I had for breakfast?
Cake.
That's
a breakfast.
Guess what I'm gonna have for dessert?
Right, cake. Who's your favorite band?
Faith No More.
Cake.
Yeah, so I get to see you again in another hour or so, and we'll get to have meatballs.
Yeah, meatballs.
That's a spicy meatball.
I got it from Ippolito's, and Ippolito's is some of the best Italian out there.
Yeah, it was a good little spread, because our wives, the three wives, had been talking and just shooting ideas off each other. And my wife was like, I felt like I didn't do anything. And I'm like, you don't understand. Just having somebody to talk to is major sometimes, because your brain locks up. And just having somebody to bounce stuff off of is amazing. And you don't realize how big of a help that is, just being there. So if you ever think that you're not doing something, just listen. And it's always a big help just to be there to listen to people and shoot ideas.
So that's our week.
Yeah. Awesome.
Uh,
Woohoo.
anything else?
I don't think so.
Did you get any of those McDonald's glasses?
No, I did not. I didn't even try for them.
So when they first came out, have you looked at the McDonald's Facebook? It's like some 18-year-old who only uses slang promotes. I thought it was a fan account or a parody account
Uh-huh.
because they don't use proper English or grammar. It's just all like texting kind of
And it's on the
posts.
is it on like their
It's just the McDonald's Facebook page in general. It's anyways, because when they went to promote this thing, there was no details for these glasses, and trying to figure out what they were trying to say was difficult. So started getting these cups, but within 2 days, I was just sick of McDonald's, and I haven't gone back since. But like one cup, I wanted the Jurassic Park cup because I thought it would be funny to have a cup that promotes past stuff. It was like celebrating 60 years of McDonald's giveaways. So there was a Beanie Baby cup, and there was a Universal cup. There was a Snoopy cup. There was a McDonald's Playland cup. So there were 6 cups, and one of them had Jurassic Park on it because in '94 they did a cup program where you would go buy your supersize and you get a free cup.
right.
With like the Jurassic Park stuff on it. So I thought it'd be funny to have a cup that promotes a cup. But what they didn't advertise, they said collect all 6, but they showed like 12 different cups. And they didn't explain that one cup had 3 different images on it. So it was just very weird and confusing. But I do miss the McDonald's stuff. There's a dude on YouTube that refinishes or redoes the McDonald's Playland characters, like all the fiberglass stuff. And just looking at him recreate these things and fix them up makes me remember the cookies that used to come in the Happy Meals.
Yeah.
Those cookies were so good.
They were. But now you'd probably eat them and they'd be crap.
And now you get apple crisps.
Yeah.
And
Well, they
I
have to
don't
do
think
something.
apples are supposed to last that long.
No, they're a little full of preservatives. No big deal.
Just a little bit to preserve them for 4 months or 4
Ooh.
years.
Yeah, no, the old school McDonald's, man. When I remember people smoking in McDonald's. I remember I was at a McDonald's one time and I'm trying to walk in between people and I got burned by their cigarette.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it touched my shirt or something because I ducked underneath them. And yeah, I remember there being ashtrays. Yeah. But growing up in the 80s, man.
That's a different time.
Different time.
It's a different world.
Apparently you can still order cake from McDonald's.
Yes, you can.
Like
If they have
birthday
it, it's $8.
Is it only $8? Somebody said it
Yeah.
was like 30.
I thought it was $8 or $9, but maybe I'm thinking of 1980 prices.
But they'll keep it in the freezer and it's frozen and it's probably the nastiest thing ever. But McDonald's birthdays was the ish back in the day, man.
I don't think I ever had a McDonald's birthday. I don't know if I did Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese was the place that I wanted to go for my birthday. Because
no, we
they had Tron.
Oh, Tron at Chuck E. Cheese?
The video game?
Oh, the video game. I thought it was a bigger thing than that. I remember playing Tron. It was kind of fun.
They had Tron and Galaga, and then when I got older, it was like the Simpson game, and there was an X-Men game, and then it was the Ninja Turtle one that was badass because there's 4 players. And
I tell you what, I used to have a friend that ran an arcade, and that was fun too because they always have coins, like free tokens. So he'd go and always give me a ton of tokens, which was fun.
That's pretty awesome. I miss arcades.
Yeah. And then they shut it down. I remember when they shut it down. It was like, I'm out of a job.
And that was $1 million industry at some point.
Yeah. Well, it's
and
just
$1 million in 1980 was $1 trillion.
Right. And it's just like we were talking about film developing. It's gone now, you know? That now it's a niche. I used to do that. That was my job for like 6 years. And now it's gone.
It's gone, man. It's all gone.
Now your camera has a better I mean, your phone has a better camera on it than most of the cameras 10 years ago.
And McDonald's used to be the place to go for Happy Meal toys,
Yeah.
and now it's not.
Well, they don't even
Wendy's have these mini Frosty figures.
do they?
Yeah, and they're Halloween themed.
Yeah.
And they understood the assignment. There's chases for these figures. So like I think Frankenstein or the Frankenstein uh uh guy has both gray and green,
Oh, nice.
and the gray one is the chase. And there's a ghost one. So there's all these little mini Frosty figures. Like McDonald's has Crocs, and Wendy's has figures like they did back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, that's true. They're redoing Crocs. They're like, here, have a mini pair of Crocs.
Yeah, it's a keychain thing, but they're Crocs.
Do you remember the mini Beanie Babies?
I remember them. I didn't get them.
Yeah, I have a whole bag of them sitting in my garage. They're probably worth $2.
I'll get the Happy Meals when they do Star Wars toys, which I haven't done in a while.
They're probably not going to.
Rise of Skywalker was the last one.
Oh.
That's the last time I believe they did something, but Burger King was the apex, I think, at 2005 when they had the whole collect all the galaxy, because they thought that was the last Star Wars film ever. So to commemorate it, it was super deformed figures of
Super
everyone.
Deformed. Yeah.
Super deformed, like big heads, small bodies.
Oh yeah, I remember those. I think I've got a Boba Fett that squirts water. I think it's from one of those. And then there was like the flying Boba Fett, and was it Taco Bell did one?
Taco Bell did one way back in the day during
Yeah.
episode 1.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
What else?
They did cups back then too. Episode 1 cups.
Did they? Oh, was that the cup toppers?
With the toppers. I think that's the best.
I know I've said it before, but like my mother-in-law came in one day and was like looking at my collection and was like, "You don't have one." And I'm like, "What?" And then the next time she came over, she had a Saboba cup topper. And I'm like, "Thanks." But it's still in my collection. And my rule is if somebody gives me something, I don't care how cheesy it is, it never leaves my collection. It's just, somebody thought enough about me to give me something. It stays in my collection.
Yeah. That's a good rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're coming back with the boo buckets.
Yeah, those look good this year.
They're smaller than the original boo buckets. There's no hat or helmet that goes on topper. There's no topper that goes on top.
Right.
I think recently they brought back the nugget guys, the chicken nugget guys.
They did.
They did, and then they need to bring back the Transformers.
Oh yeah, the Transformer and food
the toys that transform. So, or the pieces of, there's a cup, there's a milkshake, there's the Whopper. No, that's Burger King. There's the Royale with cheese, the Big Mac, and then there was the fries that would change into a robot, just like Transformers.
Yeah, those were cool. I remember when they opened the McDonald's where I lived. Yeah. I remember having to travel for McDonald's. And then when they opened one, it was like, oh my God.
One of the most disappointing moments in my life growing up was when I was too big to go into the McDonald's Playland. But it was like I can go out there and play with my brother. But then there was the one where it's the police officer, but he's a hamburger, and you climb up the tube.
Yes.
And you'd climb around his burger, and there's bars on the window. I remember the day when I was like, I'm too big for this. I can get inside the tube, but the hole to get into the little area where you run around in the burger on the top, I couldn't fit. I was like, no,
man,
this sucks. This is the worst thing ever. I'm going to remember this for 35 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was at an oddity shop years ago, and the owner was like battling with his neighbor because he had a McDonald's. He had one of those in his front yard, and the neighbor didn't like it. And he's like, F you, it's my front yard.
Well, those pieces are about $6,000 to $10,000 now each.
Right.
And there's people who collect those pieces from McDonald's Playland.
There's a niche for everybody, man.
And the reason why I watch this guy is because as he repairs them, he 3D scans them. And then he makes mini, like 6-inch versions of each item.
Ooh.
And then he'll put them up on his Etsy. Dustin Crops Boy is his name on YouTube, so you can watch him. So
me and my childhood.
yeah, so he does a lot of the vintage 60s and 50s stuff. But I just like people who create, and he's a very creative guy, so it's fun to
Right.
watch.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's just like yesterday when you're like, I'm not going to use this word because you're going to laugh. And then you said it. And I was like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah. Anything else?
No. Did you collect the Burger King cups? Do you collect them? The old school from the 80s?
I have a couple, but I'm not willing. It's one of those things that I want, but I'm not willing to spend $50 a glass. Like
They're not
I'll
that
spend
much.
20, even $20 is pushing it for me.
Right.
Anything above that, I'm like, you're greedy. But eventually I do want those whole glasses. I do remember having the Return of the Jedi ones. I had the Muppet ones from the Great Muppet Caper, Snoopy.
Yeah.
We got rid of a lot of them. All of them, actually.
Yeah. That was a fun collection to chase. And then it's a typical, you're trying to chase them individually, and then somebody puts a whole set up, so you just buy it.
I found a Vader one with Tarkin in from Star Wars, the Vader one with Tarkin. And when I brought it home, I thought it was really cool. I was like, it's $10. I can't believe I got this for $10. But then when I started comparing them to others, I'm like, oh, this is burnt.
Ooh. So
There's a
somebody
little burnt area on the side of the image.
Huh.
So maybe it got too close to the heater in a dishwasher. Who knows?
Right. I did that with my new Starbucks cup. I had set up something in a crock pot, and I came back like 10 minutes later to look at stuff, and I'm like, that cup is too close to the crock pot. And if I didn't want to have seen it, I would have been out a $30 cup.
It may be a house if it burnt down.
Yeah, maybe a house. But yeah, no, that was a fun collection to chase, the Burger King cups. So it like everything, you collect them way early, and you're able to, I don't know if the prices have come down or not, but yeah, if you're paying any more, I think, than $20 for one of those cups, I even think $10 for one of those cups is getting kind of crazy. I was at a shop in Florida, and I picked one of the cups up, and it's missing like one of the colors. So it's all the printing's off because they missed like the flesh color on the cup, and I was like, this is kind of cool. So
did you get it?
Yeah, I bought it.
Okay.
It was one of those, yeah. And yeah, I've got that. And then it's crazy. There's a couple of different versions of some of those cups, because there's like a plastic version, and then there's a version called tulips, which are tulip glass, which instead of it being printed on the glass, it's like printed on a sticker and then put on the glass. So it's a fun thing to chase.
Also, the other thing we chase is the end of the show. Thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to us. Really helps us out and points people to our show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. So send us a message or send us feedback. We always love it. And we love to make you part of the show. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People collect for the People collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote with your wallet this Saturday. Do you remember? Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This is the way.
This is the way. The 21st night of